It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the films of September 13th, 1996. We've got 7 movies to look at today, so let's just go ahead and jump on into it. We'll start off with the biggest new release of the weekend, Jean-Claude Van Damme and Natasha Henstridge in the action thriller, Maximum Risk.
Somebody killed my brother, who was trying to come home. One man, one chance, one shot.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a contractor.
A hitman.
On September 13th,
I lost your brother. I don't want to lose you.
there's one risk worth taking. Jean-Claude Van Damme, Natasha Henstridge, Maximum Risk, rated R. At theaters Friday, September 13th.
So the premise basically is that Jean-Claude Van Damme, he finds out his twin brother's has died, and so he goes to New York to figure out what happened, and he eventually gets caught up with the Russian mafia, gets involved with his brother's fiancée, played by Natasha Henstridge. I mean, this is something that's been done over and over again. I think we've seen this story done many times. In fact, this is not the first time that Jean-Claude Van Damme has played twin brothers. He played identical twins in Double Impact, which is a movie we looked at back in 1991. As far as this movie goes, I remember seeing it a long, long time ago. I have not seen it since, so I can't really say nowadays if I liked it or not. But when I watched it back then, I just thought it was all right. I didn't think it was anything too crazy, anything too spectacular. But it was a decent. It's last that I remember it was a decent film. It wasn't one that I was kind of like wanted to watch again anytime soon. But the last time I remember watching it many years ago, I did kind of enjoy it, but it didn't leave a lasting impact on me. Fun fact about this movie, Jason Freeberg and Aaron Seltzer, best known for the Scary Movie films and then how they destroyed the parody comedies, they formed an uncredited rewrite on this film, believe it or not. And this director, Ringo Lam, this is his first movie he's ever done in America after many years as a Hong Kong film director. He did Twin Dragons. He's done stuff like The City on Fire, Prison on Fire, School on Fire. This was the first movie he ever did in America. And I guess they brought him over to see if he could have the same kind of success that John Woo had the previous year, in this year with Broken Arrow. But I don't know. I don't think I remember seeing him directing too many more films here in America that I'm aware of. But we'll see. We'll see once we get to them. We could be getting some of them in the next couple of years or so. But yeah, like I said before, this movie, I remember watching it many years ago. I haven't seen it since. I saw it once. I thought it was okay, but it was never something I really wanted to check out again. So take that for what you will. So that's Maximum Risk. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next movie, and that is Anna Paquin and Jeff Daniels in Fly Away Home.
Pictures invites you to join Amy.
She was the first thing they saw when they were born, so they think she's their mother.
Igor, Featherbrain,
Stop fooling around!
and the rest of the flock
The problem with your birds is they're going to want to migrate south, and they need someone to show them how.
for the ride of their lives.
They're really flying with me!
It's all you, Amy.
From the director of The Black Stallion, Fly Away Home, rated PG.
Carol Ballo directed this. She also did The Black Stallion, Never Cry Wolf. Last movie she did was Wind, which was in '92, and the movie she did after this was Duma, but that was 9 years after this, and that's the last movie I remember seeing her name on. This is another one kind of like Maximum Risk. I remember seeing it a long time ago, but unlike Maximum Risk, I actually do remember really liking this movie. This is one that I used to watch as a kid, and I haven't seen it in probably almost 20 years ago. It's been since I've seen this movie, but like I said, I remember watching it, and I thought it was actually pretty good. I mean, the performances carry it all the way through. I do like the message that it's trying to get out here. It doesn't feel like it's trying to tug at your heartstrings manipulatively, like it's not trying to force something onto you. It's actually legitimately, it does give you these emotional moments in the legitimate fashion. It never feels like it's cramming it down your throat or anything. And the performances overall, I think, really do carry the film. The visuals overall look pretty impressive. This is Caleb Deschanel, who's done a ton of great cinematography work. He's done stuff with I can't remember what he did. Give me 1 second. He also did The Black Stallion. He did The Right Stuff, The Natural. It Could Happen to You. Just a ton of really good movies. Stuff like Jack Reacher, more recent stuff. Yeah, a lot of pretty good stuff, and this is a really nice looking film. They do a really good job of getting these shots in the air, and it's nicely done. It's all nicely done. It has a really good story, it has a really good cast to work off of. It's a really good film. I really recommend it. Like I said, even though I haven't seen it in a long time, I do remember really enjoying the film a lot. I think people will really appreciate this movie more than I think people would give it credit for. I think it is a very good, underrated kids film, a good family film overall. I'd say definitely check it out if you can find it. So with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at our next movie, and that is Halle Berry in The Rich Man's Wife.
She had the best of everything and a marriage that made it possible.
It's rich.
Yeah?
But the price of wealth just went up.
It's about your husband.
I met this guy. He wanted Tony's money. I didn't know the man was crazy. He wanted Tony's wife. Call me the police.
No, you don't know what you're doing, Halle Berry.
I know exactly what I'm doing.
The Rich Man's Wife.
Don't push me.
Rated R. Starts Friday, September.
Yeah, I bet you didn't know that Halle Berry starred in the movie where she was married to Shooter McGavin. That's Christopher McDonald playing the rich man in this particular role here. Directed by Amy Holden Jones, who did the Slumber Party Massacre, also wrote the Beethoven movies. That's really all I know about this movie because I've never seen it before, and quite frankly, I have no real reason to ever see it. I mean, Halle Berry's made some pretty good movies, but she's made some movies that you can tell right off the bat are really, really bad. And you don't even need to see the movie, honestly, to really get it for sure. Like The Cell, you could already kind of figure where that's going to go. Kidnap, like stuff like that. Catwoman. This definitely fits in that category of her just picking films, hoping it's going to be the film that will turn her career around. But of course, eventually down the road, she finally got some better roles, and of course, one that won her an Oscar in Monsters Ball. But this is pretty standard stuff. Like, this is a pretty standard slasher thriller kind of. It never really feels like it's going to do anything it never does anything to really make you want to watch it. It feels like everybody's kind of wasting their time with it. You don't really get any excitement from this at all. Like, it's not really an enjoyable film. It's not really it's not really that solid. Everybody in this movie deserves a lot better than this. It's a largely forgettable film. I say that I've seen it. I haven't seen it, but it looks like a largely forgettable film. In fact, most people whenever I look at Halle Berry stuff, nobody ever really talks about this. That probably should give you a good idea of how this movie ends up playing out. So, yeah, I've never seen it before, but I'm guessing that it did not age well or end up holding up over time very well. So, thankfully, she's done a whole lot better than this. So that's The Rich Man's Wife. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next movie, and that is Feeling Minnesota.
They make a nice couple, don't they?
No, Freddie met the man of her dreams. Unfortunately, it's the groom's brother. Gonna go at it over, Sam. Big time. Keanu Reeves, Vincent D'Onofrio, Cameron Diaz, Dan Aykroyd, Courtney Love, Tuesday Weld, and Delroy Lindo. From the producers of Pulp Fiction and Get Shorty. Drop the gun! Drop yours. Oh, I pulled mine out first. Feeling Minnesota. Rated R. Starts Friday, September 13th.
Another one I've never seen before, but it's got a pretty good cast. Keanu Reeves, Vincent D'Onofrio, Cameron Diaz, Tuesday Weld, Dan Aykroyd, Delroy Lindo. I'm guessing it's kind of trying to be the next Get Shorty in Pulp Fiction. It's even produced by Danny DeVito, who was also in Get Shorty. But it doesn't really look like anything that could be that interesting, especially when you see the reviews for this. I think this has a 14% on Rotten Tomatoes, which does not really show a lot of confidence. And yet, Siskel and Ebert gave it 2 thumbs up, so I'm conflicted on it. I don't know if I want to see it or not, but I mean, at least Siskel and Ebert usually if they give a film 2 thumbs up, it's not usually a really bad movie, but I don't know. This one is very conflicting. I haven't seen it, so I can't really say if it's good or not, so better move on to the next movie. That was a quick one. Next one, we have Grace of My Heart.
I would know the first thing about how to save even myself with a song, much less the world.
You're the best songwriter in this joke of a business.
I think we should try to make it big.
You were holding out on me. Why did you save your best song for girls?
I'm a singer, and I'm going to record my own stuff.
Another one I haven't seen before, but it has a really good cast to it. Elena Douglas, Matt Dillon, Eric Stoltz, John Turturro, Patsy Kensit, Bruce Davison, Bridget Fonda, Chris Isaac. There are some good names in this movie, and it does sound like a pretty interesting premise to it, but at the same time, though, it feels like a movie that was overshadowed by a far superior movie that we're going to get to when we get to a couple weeks down the road in 1996 with That Thing You Do, which I think that movie did that a whole lot better, and I think that's a movie that stands out a whole lot more. This one doesn't look like it's a bad movie by any means. It looks like it could be a really enjoyable film. Plus, it's nice to see a character actress like Elena Douglas getting a more prominent leading role in a film like this. So I wish I had some more to tell you about it, but I haven't seen the film, so I can't really say if it's good or not. But I mean, I have no reason to believe that it's a bad film. It definitely looks like it has more promise than... Ooh, excuse me. But it definitely feels like it has more promise to it than people would give it credit for. I mean, like I said, I haven't seen the film, but it definitely has a lot of things that could make me want to go see it at some point. If I find it somewhere, at a thrift store or something, or I find it online cheaply, I'll definitely check it out. But it's not something I want to rush out to see right away. But my interest is definitely piqued on this one. So, grace in my heart. Let's go to the next movie, and that is American Buffalo.
Friendship is friendship and a wonderful thing, and I'm all for it. I've never said different. And you know me on this point, okay?
What makes you such an authority on life all of a sudden?
My life, Don, and the way I've lived it.
Get teach an English muffin.
I don't want an English.
Get him an English muffin and make sure they give you the jelly.
I found a nickel. I like it because of the art on it.
Uh-huh.
Because it looks like something.
Is this worth anything?
You don't want me to do the job?
Not now. We aren't going to do it now.
You tell me when you want me to do it.
I don't know that I want you to do it at this point.
So what was this thing with the kid? I mean, is there anything,
No, it's nothing, you know.
You want to tell me what this thing is?
What about the thing?
The thing?
Yeah.
No, it's nothing.
Oh.
You know.
No, I don't know. What is it?
Based off of David Mamet's play of the same name from 1975. You got Dustin Hoffman there, and Dennis Franz and this kid, played by Sean Nelson. And they're basically just three guys who plan to rob this house and try to make some money so they can get out of town. And this has been a movie that's been in development hell for a number of years. This was originally in development by the Cannon Group, which was no longer in service at this point. Al Pacino was actually going to be in this, but he turned it down. And I mean, it's a film that maybe might be good, because I usually like a lot of David Mamet stuff, but the reviews for this have not been too pleasing. Even though what I'm seeing here, I mean, it doesn't look like it's terrible, but it looks like it has good ideas but bad execution. That's something I usually like to talk about with movies and things that have good ideas to them, but when they actually do the finished product, it kind of falters on what they were trying to do here. I mean, Dustin Hoffman and Dennis Franz look like they're trying their best here, but I mean, it doesn't look like anything that's terrible, but it doesn't look like anything that's really on the level of something like Glengarry Glen Ross. I like David Mamet stuff a lot, so maybe I might find something in it, but as far as I know, it's something that could either go either way. It could be really good, could be really bad. I really don't know for sure. I haven't seen it, so let's go ahead and take a look at our last film, and that is American Strays.
Everything ended up somewhere on the fringe of society and the edge of reality. 10 strangers are on a road to nowhere.
You going for a drive?
So you've got three interwoven stories of desert travelers. They converge in the small diner, and you see the names in here: Scott Plank, Melora Waters, John Savage, Joe Vitelli, Luke Perry, Eric Roberts, Jennifer Tilly. Really, I know nothing about this movie. I didn't even know it even existed, so I can't really say if it's good or not. But it looks like another one, like American Buffalo. It looks like it has some good ideas to it, but just poor execution. It probably doesn't have anything redeemable about it. So I wish I had some more to tell you about this one, but I know literally nothing about this movie. So really quick one on that one, American Strays. So yeah, not a very good week this week, but next time around we'll get better, because I know there's a couple movies on here of noteworthiness to talk about, including Bette Midler, Goldie Hawn, and Diane Keaton in The First Wives Club, Bruce Willis in Walter Hill's Western Last Man Standing, Stanley Tucci and Oliver Platt in Big Night, Surviving Picasso, Paradiso, and Daytown. So 6 movies to look at next time around, and a couple of good movies in there, so we'll fix it around on the next episode. But until then, thank you very much for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit the playlist on the next page. Check out the previous episode. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. And until then, as always, take care.